What is up, guys? JayFerGaming here. Welcome back to my F1 2016 career mode. This is season 5, the final season on F1 2016. This is the Canadian Grand Prix, and it actually marks a year or full season with the Sauber team. So, bit of a moment here, I've got to say. I've only just realised that as well, but yeah, if you are new to my channel and do want to see the rest of this season, do remember to hit subscribe. In terms of car performance, we obviously still have the worst car, but we have enough resource points, well, very soon, to fully upgrade our downforce, which I'll be looking to do for the next race, which I think is Austria. But we can see Sahara Force India are the best team at the moment. They made a couple of upgrades and jumped over Red Bull and Toro Rosso, but you can just see how close things are. The racing at the moment is absolutely brilliant. We're fighting in the midfield as well, which is great. A couple of fantastic results this season. The win in China, a bit lucky in terms of strategy and a few other things. Podium, we had great pace in Monaco, but it's been a bit of a mixed bag. Into qualifying now. I was feeling pretty good around here. The car did have brilliant straight line speed. In Q1 here, we're on our first run, and it is starting to drizzle a little bit. There is scheduled to be a bit of rain in the second half of this session, and initially we do go quickest, but not too many drivers have put laps in, and I actually skipped to near the end of the session. Ended up P7 because it was raining. It was, I think it was intermediate conditions, so we're safely through to Q2. Marcus Ericsson, oh, what a performance, Marcus. He only just gets through, and look who gets knocked out. Rosberg, Palmer, Magnussen. There's some big names, I've got to say, so it worked out well for us, and into Q2 we go. I think for the first time me and Marcus have both made it through. I did put in an initial lap on the Inters, and yeah, it wasn't great. It was definitely time for wets. Coming on our second lap, our first on the wet compound. Where are we going to end up? It's only P13, and with 2.5 minutes to go, it looks like there's a big chance that we might not get through into Q3, but me and Marcus 13th and 14th, I probably would have taken that from the start of the session, but right now I felt there was a bit of an improvement left in this car. We're second down on Ricciardo, couple of tenths up on our best lap, but we don't get a great final chicane there. We're actually losing time, but can we get through into the top 10? We can, we've done it. We're up to P7, and we're going to be right at the end of the session now, and we end up 8th, and we get through to Q3 by a couple of tenths there, so that worked out very well for us. Marcus ended up 14th, so it wasn't too bad. His lap was on the Inters, so a bit of a variation in tyre strategy there made things very interesting. But into Q3, what a feeling that is. But now it's back to Inters again, and I decided just to do one run at the end of the session, hoping not to be in P10. I kind of expected to be in 10th, so anything above that position would be pretty good for us. It has been an okay lap. Wouldn't say it's going to get us near the front. Come to the line. Where are we going to end up on the grid? It's P8, I think that was. Yes, only 6 tenths off, so that's pretty good. Pretty happy with that overall, so yeah. Bit of a surprise, I'd say, but it looks like we're looking decent for the Canadian Grand Prix. If it is dry conditions, we might go backwards. We'll have to see how things go, but let's head over to race day and see what the weather is like. And it looks a little bit cloudy, but I'm excited for this race. The Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Canada always throws up a good race, and with 2 DRS zones there is a lot of chance of overtaking, crashes, just everything. Variation of strategy, this is usually one of the most entertaining races of the season in my opinion. So we're just looking at the championship standings there. Carlos Sainz leads in his Toro Rosso. He doesn't need a promotion to Red Bull. Rosberg, he's been declining the past few races. He did have a fantastic start to the season. Not too good recently, but Force India not in the top 3 in the constructors there, but they do have the strongest car, so I'm expecting them to be a lot higher up in the following races. Ricciardo's on pole, so that'll be good for the champion from last season. So over to Crofty to show you the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. It was a good showing from Red Bull in qualifying, and Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Daniel Kvyat, and Raikkonen, Hülkenberg, and De Sauber, Alonso, and Jenson Button, Haryanto, Gutierrez, Marcus Ericsson, and Vettel, Hamilton, Grosjean, Felipe Massa, and Pascal Wehrlein, Rosberg and Palmer, Valtteri Bottas, and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Thank you, Crofty. Don't say that too often, but in terms of strategy, I'm decided to start on the super softs. I don't like starting on the hardest compound. I've said that quite a lot in my career, and it looks like it's probably going to be a one-stop. I'm not sure what the AI are going to go for, but I'm going to go for the super softs and then head to the softs for the final stint. I feel like the ultra softs aren't going to be that great around here and probably don't last that long. So probably best to avoid them. So one stop is what I'm hoping for. There's no schedule arranged, so should be an exciting race. Building up to the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. 5 lights and it's lights out and away we go. Seems like quite a lot of cars are on the soft compound tyres. We're trying to go down the middle of Hulkenberg and Raikkonen. They are both squeezing us. Hulkenberg up the inside. But we seem to have got Raikkonen, have we? No, we're going to have to go around the outside of the Ferrari driver, but everyone around us is on soft compound tyres, so we've got the initial grip early on. Can we get Hulkenberg into turn 3 here? We're up the inside, he leaves the space, and that's a brilliant late braking move up to P6. Very happy with that, and that's been a decent start. But as all the cars around us are on the soft compound tyres, actually, from what I remember, it must have been like 16 of the 21 other drivers started on the soft, so yeah, they're all looking to go long. There's a bit of kerfuffle in the final chicane here. Sainz has moved across and we've got a bit of damage to our front wing. We've taken Kvyat. Ricciardo's slow as well. The AI notably always slow when they go side by side through that chicane. And Kvyat now is on the attack. Don't know where Ricciardo's gone. A nudge for the Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso's been very aggressive in this end of lap 1 there. Sainz gave us a little bit of damage. He just moved at the last second. So we've got a little bit of damage there, but my plan, unless it's a safety car or something, don't replace the front wing. It shouldn't affect us too much, and it didn't really. I was just settled in 4th, not as quick as the cars ahead of us. And Kvyat looks like he's going for a move. He seems to be very quick in a straight line, under braking into the chicane. He gets a move done. He has locked up, but he's got it done. And I think it's really the compounder tyre which is keeping us with these guys. I feel like if we were on the soft compound tyres, we'll probably have dropped a couple of positions. Though there is quite a gap to Hulkenberg back in 6th, so I was hoping to stick with these guys. Probably not fight too hard. And yeah, just maintain the gap to the cars behind. There's actually been a yellow flag. Not sure if there's a bit of contact. We'll have to check out a replay. This is on board with Haryanto. Oh, and he gets a nudge from the Ferrari. Puts him into the wall. That's quite an impact. And I think he's actually still in the race. What happens here with, I think that's right, Raikkonen just moves across him, gives him a nudge, puts him in the wall. That's absolutely ruined his race. Damaged front wing. There's no need from Kimi. Wow. That's, that'd be very hard to take, I've got to say. But, just settling in 5th, still got that gap to 6th, and then ahead, it's Kvyat. Kvyat's the one with the pace, and Sainz is right on the back of Verstappen. 3 Red Bull drivers here, and we're just looking to pick up the scraps. These fighting will help us get involved with this battle. Sainz trying to go around the outside of Verstappen into 1. He'll have the inside for 2. Bit of contact there. We have to try and avoid that. We lose our momentum, and yeah, we're just settling in. A bit of oversteer there, but yeah, this battling is allowing the cars behind to close in, and we know the Force Indians are the quickest car now, so I've got to watch out for Hulkenberg soon. Verstappen, he's been overtaken by Sainz just before the final chicane. We've still got DRS, which is key for us. It's pulling us towards these guys, so we'll get DRS again. Don't think Verstappen will, so I'm not sure if we're going to get a decent tow into turn 1, and can we go for the late braking move up the inside of Max? Yes, we can. And just memories of last season. This was our first race with Sauber, and I put a move on Verstappen, who had replaced me after I got sacked from Red Bull, so that felt very satisfying. A season on, we're doing the same again, and now we're on the back of Sainz. Our straight line speed is making up for our lack of downforce in the middle sector. We just don't have the grip. Going for the move on Sainz now, and yeah, it's pretty simple. You can see just how easy it is to overtake in a straight line for us. We have gone a bit deep though into turn 1, making a mistake. Sainz is going to try and go around the outside. I think we've got him covered off here. Yes, we do, but he's giving us a slight nudge. Put us in the wall. We make contact with Verstappen. There's a damaged front wing there. Sainz gets us back there, but yeah, we've damaged the left end plate of our front wing. I'm pretty sure Sainz gives us a nudge here, puts us into the wall. We slide off the curb into Verstappen. We're just so lucky no one got taken out properly there. What does Sainz do here? Does he clip us? He does indeed, and then puts us into the wall. Verstappen gains 2 positions from that. Sainz regains the position for me. So we're the main loser there, and yeah, more damage to the front wing. Can it take much more? I don't know. I'm still not going to replace it. I feel like it cost us too much time and we lose too many positions, so I'm going to keep it like not replace it in our stop for now, unless there's a safety car or virtual safety car. Verstappen lucky not to get taken out there, but it's worked out well for him. Now we move on a few laps. We're starting to struggle on these super softs. It seems like the soft compound tyres are stronger at this point of the race. Hulkenberg and Ricciardo have both closed in on me. Look at the straight line speed of the Force India. I used to drive that car, so I know all about it from Season 3. Hulkenberg gets the move done. He hasn't got a great line for the chicane, but yeah, we struggle a little bit on the curbs. They're bouncing over them, and Ricciardo's going for the move as well, looking for the inside. No, I'm going to force him to the outside. Can't we defend our P6 here? He gives us a nudge as well. The AI seems to be very aggressive in this Canadian Grand Prix. I have made contact with quite a few of them already. You can see our rear tyres are starting to struggle now, 48% on both of them, so I'm deciding to come into the pits. I think this is a lap earlier than scheduled, so possibly go for the undercut. I don't know what the soft compound are going to be like in terms of speed, but we're the first into the pits, so it's going to be interesting to see how we make these tyres work and if we can make them last to the end of the race. I know these softs can go quite a while, but I'm not sure about 22 laps. We'll have to wait and see where we're going to come out. We're hoping for no traffic, but it looks like there is quite a bit of traffic. Alonso's making contact with a Ferrari there. We're coming out side by side with Felipe Massa. We should get initial better traction, but we're going to have the outside line for turn 3 here, so I'm not sure if we're going to get the move done. Massa gets the better of us. Can we go for a switchback? No, we're struggling to get these tyres up to temperature, but we have to wait until the DRS straight, and as I expected, we're easily going to power past here. Vettel's in 13th. I don't think he's pit yet, so he's having an absolute shocker in the Ferrari. We get ourselves up to P11. We were one of the first ones to pit, so out of position. Daniel Kvyat is out of the race. Looks like it could be an engine failure. He usually is in career mode. Let's have a look on the replay for the Toro Rosso. He was in P2 and he had brilliant speed, so that's a really big shame for the Russian there. And he just seems to pull off, actually. No smoke. Maybe it wasn't an engine failure. Who knows? Maybe there's other failures in this game. So the virtual safety car has come out, and I worked out that if I'd stayed out to lap 15, we would have been around the chicane as the virtual safety car was deployed, so we maybe could have taken advantage of that. But no, we move on. The virtual safety car period is over, and we've got a run initially on Grosjean in the Haas. A couple of other drivers have pit. I think they pit under the virtual safety car, so they've profited. I'm not sure if that's going to help them in their battle with us later on. But we're into the top 8 now, so it's not all too bad. It looks like we will be fighting for points, at least in this race. But I had a feeling I would go backwards on these soft compound tyres. Raikkonen's into the pits on the left-hand side, and it might be very close here. They do seem to shoot out the pits after their pit stop. We force him out, get the position, and he is on the ultra-soft tyres, which suggests he is pitting once again. So he needs to pull out like a 20-second lead over me, so if I hold him up as long as possible, then that could help us later on in the race. But I struggle so much with this corner here. Right-hander. Am I in the wrong gear? I'm sure going up from 3rd to 4th, but I just get awful traction. The AI drivers seem to be planted through there, and they get such an advantage here. Raikkonen side by side into the brake zone, and he's given us a nudge. So we did have to cut over the chicane there, but we had nowhere to go. It was tie-to-tie contact, forced us off wide. Let's see in the replay what actually happens. I think Raikkonen just takes a narrow entry to the corner. He actually corner cuts, bounces over the curb into me, and yeah, just barges me off. So there's not too much I can really do there. He is later on the brakes. Is it his corner? I think I'm on the racing line. And yeah, and afterwards he just kind of drives very slowly, but he finally gets back onto the rear of my car. We've held him up quite nicely, to be fair, but it looks like it's going to be pretty difficult to leave him for dust because he is on them ultra soft. So he does get the move done. He actually corner cuts once again and gets the move done. So he's up to P7, but he does have to pit again. Lap 23 now. Hamilton's on our tail. I think he's made his one and only pit stop. Quite a few drivers seem to be going for the one stop. A couple of cars in the pits now, Button and I think Raikkonen's in as well. Not completely sure there, but Hamilton goes for the move up the inside. We don't make it easy for him. We actually give him a ram up the rear for good luck. I misjudged the switchback there, so not the best of driving there. Luckily, no more damage to our front wing. I don't think it would be able to take it. But Button in P8 seems to be on the ultra soft. Fernando Alonso is out the race, so looks like it's going well for Button. Not so good for Alonso. Team radio.
The engine was going much slower than before. Amazing.
Sarcasm, I like it, Fernando. But yeah, it's going badly for Alonso. Button's on a fantastic race. I was sure that Button would have to pit again, but These Ultra Softs, is he going to take them to the end? Because he's got some decent straight line speed in that Honda Power Unit. Gets the move done and he's up to P7. This could be a brilliant points haul for McLaren. They don't score heavily, but they have been getting a couple of double points finishes recently, so definitely picking up the game. We try and fight back, but no, nothing we can do there. And we're both ahead of Raikkonen. Raikkonen's made his final pit stop, so we did extend that gap to around 20 seconds because he's right on my tail now, along with Ricciardo. So we're fighting a Ferrari and a Red Bull. It looks like we might be going backwards as I earlier predicted, so we could be fighting for the latter points, which is a shame considering we were in P4, P5 earlier on. Raikkonen goes for it into the final chicane much later on the brakes, and I think he's got it done. He gets a decent exit. We slide off the curb. Ricciardo's going to be putting us under pressure. These two are on ultra softs. I'm on one soft, so it's difficult to fight back, if at all. So I kind of just have to accept we're not going to be beating these guys. I mean, look at this exit. Absolutely awful. Ricciardo, no doubt going to get a run. Probably get himself up to P8. Pretty unfortunate. I'll brake early because there's not much I can do in this situation. But we do actually get a decent run there, and means we will get DRS on the back straight. So we might be able to come back at the Red Bull. We didn't get a great exit there off the hairpin at all. So DRS. Can we power past the Red Bull into the chicane? We might have to be late on the brakes here. And we try and go for it, but he's later. And yeah, he was much more confident than me there. He really was. So I think we've lost P8 there, unfortunately. We've got Verline behind us. And luckily for us, there's quite a gap to P11, so that kind of does guarantee us at least P10, at least 1 point, but it just looks so much better earlier on in the race. We have struggled on these soft compound tyres, and yeah, it just hasn't worked out that well for us. So Verline has finally caught up. It didn't take him long. We're going to struggle on the exit of that corner once again. I let him go past to get DRS, so we get DRS, but he's just so slow on the apex. He practically lets me back past. So he'll probably get DRS. We're skipping to lap 32 now, so 3.5 laps to go. Verline seriously putting me under pressure. And it really tells here as I lock up, skip over the chicane. I do apologise for that. He is putting me under that much pressure that, yeah, I lock up and he's actually going to go for the move into the hairpin. He's up the inside, so we're going to try and go for a switchback. We can't go, and he places the car perfectly. So who's going to get DRS here? I think Verline's going to get DRS. He's ahead as well, so it might be difficult to get this position back. Rich makes slipstream. No, he's got DRS, and we can see that's negating the advantage I would have with the slipstream. So we might have to go for the second DRS zone. Late on the brakes, hitting the curbs nicely. We've got an okay run, but DRS once again. Oh, I think he's going to get away from us, and this is just to get 2 points from P9. We're going to go for a very late lunge into turn one. He cuts in. He makes the corner. We give him a slight nudge there. It wasn't a clean move at all, but I had to go for it because I feel like I wouldn't have caught back up to Verline, but he's back on my tail for the final lap. We're really struggling on these softs, and we've got a bit of a train now. Verline's behind us. Vettel as well has caught up, and I think there's a couple of other cars closing in quickly, so this could be a scamper to the finish. Bit of a drag race down here. Can we defend our P9 and take home 2 points? Verline's going to get DRS. We tried to squeeze him, but no, he's going to get the position. Vettel's coming too. Double toe into the final chicane. It looks like we might be 3 wide. We're going to go for it. Sandwich. Verline's jumped over the curb. Vettel's made contact. Can we get Verline to the line? It doesn't look like we can, and it's going to be P10, but what a dramatic finale to the race there. 3 wide into the final chicane. Anyone could have gone into the Wall of Champions there. Vettel got such a great toe. I had to defend. I was always going to throw it back up the inside of Vettel and try and go around the outside of Verline. Between the two, this is on board with Verline. Yeah, you just see in his right mirror, us two go flying up the inside. I kind of barge him over the curb there, so he couldn't have helped bunny hopping there. This is Vettel, fantastic toe. And it looks like he's ahead of me, but I don't help him at all. I push him onto the inner curb. He loses out there, and he actually loses a position to Palmer there, so no points for Vettel. Perez and Hulkenberg indicating that they have the best car. Yeah, that's quite ominous for the rest of the season, I've got to say. Looking at the order, Button, he put in a fantastic performance. P8 for him. We take home 1 point, which isn't too bad. I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's unfortunate. Ericsson actually finished last out of the remaining drivers, so yeah, not the best race overall for us, but we can take a few positives. We were really good in the first stint, so just need to improve on the harder compound. Sainz with a 17-point lead over Hulkenberg, but yeah, just look how close it is. Anyone can win races, anyone could win this title. Us down to P9. We've dropped off a little bit off a few cars around us, but hey, a couple of races, we could be right up there once again. It's an exciting time this season. The grid is just so close, and I will be making that downforce upgrade for the next race, so that should be interesting to see how that works out for us. On to the constructors. We're still in P6, but look how tight it is between the top 4. And Ferrari is well and fit. So if you have enjoyed this race, please do leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time out. Goodbye.